to negate the things that you're talented in, there is money to be made there. Like, you're making money for somebody else by doing what you're doing. Figure out a way to make that work for yourself.
So, you know, all girls are all girls are the week.
And then get to that place.
Joe, WineDown kicking off in 3 minutes.
Girl,
What we drinking tonight, Trina?
I've been on the road. I don't even have no water left in the water bottle right here. It's a drought right now. What you got? What you got over there?
Today, right? Hey, but we got 3 minutes to the wind down. Plenty of time for you to tell your friends to log on, get your cup ready. The word of the day is money. Money. Ooh. Every time you hear the word money, make sure you got some drink in your cup. We got 3 minutes. You got 3 minutes to get your cups full so you can be ready for the wind down tonight. Thank you guys for being here today. Hey, Aisha. My girl Aisha is on. Portions on. You are the girl. Hey, man. Aisha go back to 2005.
Not the Mighty
on the Mighty Warfighter. Huh? Yeah, the Mighty Warfighter G-Dub. Girl, Mia is out of control right now. You do not know she needs to be in Atlanta with you.
She bougie.
With you and Cameron.
Y'all ain't on her level.
She is out of control.
I said y'all ain't on her level.
What you say? Girl, out of control right now. We got 1 minute before we kick off this wind down. It's gonna be so fire. World of Luxury. That's Aisha. Yes, we do. Gloria is in the house.
We done made it. I'm like, we done made it.
Y'all see Mary J done stole our show on BET. They got the wind down now on BET. I told Nina she stole our show. Nina's like, you know, it's a lot of people.
Support me.
Where you come from? I know. Mary done stole my show, and that's that. Mary done stole my show, and that's that. Today is National Women's Day. So thank you guys. Congratulations. Thank you all the women for the work that you're doing, for being here, bringing in extra kids in the world. Ooh. And just being fabulous. Hey, Lamar. Welcome to the wind down. Good to see you. Before she said she did. Who did what, girl? I need to know.
Maybe she's talking about Mary J.
Oh, yeah, she stole my stuff. Yeah, I think she did talk about Mary J. Hey, it's 5:30. You got plenty of time to go and tell your friends to pull up, like Rihanna advised. We got Joe coming on today, and I'm telling you guys, she is a very, very, very special person. I can't wait to even introduce her, let alone having her give us a good conversation today. So, but anyway, what's been going on with you, Trina, girl?
Child, just out here still looking for a place. Anybody in Georgia? Well, I'm claiming that I'm not gonna be renting past this year, but we where we are right now. And in Georgia, they want you to live in a shoebox for $1,000. Literally, with no holes in the shoebox to breathe. I literally went and looked at a studio, because you know it's just me and little man, so we don't need that much space. I'm like, okay, studio might be all right. It might be cool. It was like $870. Girl, I'm talking about, as soon as you walk in the door, boom, oh, you in the kitchen. Oh Lord.
No.
I'm just saying, it's literally like no space. Like living room, your kitchen, the bathroom was like right in the kitchen pretty much. I said, for almost $900. So this is gonna be what we talking about tonight. Is right on time. Everybody needs a side hustle. I'm about to be putting my application in at the bank in a minute and see if I can get on the pole. Cause right about now,
go on up there, girl. Go on up there with Clifford and them. Yeah, housing and cost of living is just crazy nationwide. Obviously, we know that the average growth in the housing market has killed it, and people haven't had the wages increase to even be able to sustain. So people are having a very hard time finding a place to live. Like in California, I will be honest with you guys, like renting a room in California renting a
I don't even want to know.
bedroom in
It's
California
gonna send me into
is about
depression.
$2,000. It's not $2,000, depending on the quality of the house. And then you go on some of these people, they rent bedrooms for 12. That's in California. I mean, things are different, obviously, but that just goes to say, like, nationwide, people are really, really struggling. And I definitely think this conversation is right on time to help people. What up, Jay Will? How you doing? I ain't heard from you since I done retired.
They
I
don't
guess
love
it's
you
time
no
gone.
more
You
like
don't
they
need
used
all
to.
my shit no more. It's all good. What's going on, Brittany? Happy to see you tonight. Happy for y'all, everybody who's joining. I'm trying to catch people as I can. I'm not catching everybody, but welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy to be back on Instagram tonight. Less technical difficulties. We tried Facebook out, and I like the fact that Facebook gave us a lot of new people involved in the conversation, but it was a lot of technical issues, and also the quality of the videos just were not consistent. So Kiana, Charity, Cassandra, thank you guys for being here. Happy to have y'all tonight.
The faithful few be checking in, girl. The crew be showing up, honey. Pull up.
Pull up. Pull up. Tell your friends to pull up, because me and Trina were just talking, if you just logged in, we were just talking about like the state of the country when it comes to inflation, when it comes to how much everything is costing. It's crazy, Tree. And I'm right there with you. You gonna have your house next year. You doing everything right.
It's gonna happen.
And it's gonna happen for you. Tonight, we talking about side hustles. Hey, thank you, Kiana. Happy National Women's Day to you too. Thank you, Charity. Happy National Women's Day all the way across the ocean. Thank you for being here. Yeah. But tonight we're talking about side hustles, and I'm really, really excited. I got in real estate as a side hustle to my primary job as a active duty, and my side hustle became my main hustle. So I can definitely relate to the conversation today, and hopefully I can inspire more people to get into real estate with me. But I don't. What do you think when I have that conversation, Trina? What do you think make people scared
about real estate? Business. I think. Yeah. Well, I know for me, I dabbled, and then I was like, I think just like with anything else new, the fear of the unknown keeps a lot of people held back, especially when you're talking about a commission-based, position. So I think like for you, you were able to start it as a side, and you had your main income still coming in. So you had that. I mean, even though you couldn't devote, I'm sure, as much time as you wanted to real estate, but you still had that financial security of knowing that you still have a money coming in. So I think that the fear of just starting, but I think that everybody knows the potential is there. But it's like, how do I maneuver into that beginning time until the money starts, consistently coming in where I can survive it? Well, not just survive, but, live off of comfortably.
Yeah, Cassandra said failure. And I think so too, like, but not just about real estate, just about any side hustle. The point is to try to build your side hustle and make it your main hustle, right? If you're happy with it. And sometimes people just want to, elevate their income a little bit. But tonight, Joe's going to talk a lot about how to organize your life so that you can make something like that successful. And for anybody who is thinking about it, or maybe have a side hustle that's not going that well, this is an opportunity to ask a lot of questions. Hey, Chris. A lot of opportunity to ask a lot of questions to her directly. I've known Joe. And when I tell you, Joe, I'm going to say this again, but Joe been hustling since I met her, 2003. Let me tell you, Joe used to be on the ship. She'll be like, I made about $800. Right. How did you just make $800? Sewing patches for people in the birthing. Like when people get promoted, they'll bring her, she'll sew on their stuff and bring in about $800 just like that. Like when she'd be the only person on the ship with a sewing machine because she done thought beyond that moment. Like I'm not just thinking about making sure I got clean underwear on deployment. I'm thinking about how I'm gonna get this extra money. That's what Joe thinking about. So when she is the right person to have this conversation today. So any objections? Go ahead and introduce Joe. Yeah, let's get it going. So Joe is a really good friend of mine. As I stated before, I met Jo in 2005. She's getting ready to come on the live right now. But like I said, Jo is sorry, my phone just wrong. People don't know I'm live. Jo always found ways of hustling. Like the only person on the ship with a sewing machine. I wore my t-shirt today. You can't see it good. Nice. But Jo made this shirt for me. She made a sign. She made me coffee cups. Like when I tell you this girl is a jack of all trades and a master of many. She is an instructor. She taught me how to teach. Like real talk. She really inspired me to be a teacher because of the way that she trained me as an air traffic controller. But now she's also a teacher for air traffic control at San Jose University. And she has her online business. Yeah. What is it called, Jo? I don't want to mess it up. Gorgeous in Green. She has a very, very lucrative Etsy store. So please go on there and see some of her designs.
What's up?
But without further
y'all have your wine?
What up, Jo?
Y'all have your wine?
Welcome to the WineDown. Huh? I got a little something. Hey, the word of the day is money. When you hear the word money, make sure you got your cup filled to take a seat.
Let's make sure you get started. So is it a good time for me to get started?
The word of the day
introduce myself. All right, you did it. You did a great job introducing me. So my name is Joanna. I have been a hustler. I think I can remember back in first grade, I used to sell pencils out of my backpack, right? Because everyone always asked me for a pencil. I used to sell pencils for 25 cents. Instead of lending them, kids would give me a quarter and I'd make my money, right? But yeah, Ro is correct. I've always, tried to just make a little cent here and there, and live my life. Really, it's honestly what we want to do, right? So she mentioned me being a professor at this San Jose State. I also do that, and then I started an online business when I was on mommy leave when I had my son that is now 8 years old. All right, so what we're talking about here is money, right? Getting the side hustle, getting our what we need to do in order to live here. Well, I live in California, but living here just in the United States. So I'm getting a little flustered here because I've had a little bit of wine and and whatnot, but what I wanted to talk about is the money that we can make while sheltering ourselves under a full-time job, right? So this is what I did. My ultimate goal is for me to be successful on my own, not need to depend on a 9-to-5, right? Although I do enjoy my job. I went to school for it and whatnot. I want to have passive income where I can just go and travel or not travel and stay home, enjoy my children. And whatnot, grandchildren, hopefully by that time, right? I started an online business. At first, it was just selling. Actually, it wasn't. It was just a hobby, right? It was just, I've always been crafty. I started making hair bows for little girls. I started giving them out. I remember I had so many, I would give them out as trick or treat. Instead of candy, I'd give little girls bows and put my little logo on there, right? So eventually, it just became from bows to dresses. Now, I travel to Mexico. I grab things from there and sell them online. And it's kind of just been a passive kind of thing now, since you put in the work up front and then it just sells itself afterwards. So I welcome any questions that you guys may have. You guys hear a little bit of my backstory, my history and my passion, really.
So Jo, where do you make most of your sales? Like how did you identify the right place?
When I first started, I think Etsy was brand new back then, right? And I was making bows, and it was easy to use. The interface with the client was relatively easy. You snap a picture, you put it online, and then you paid 20 cents, I think it was, and you wait for a sale, right? And they just started coming in. I think it was just telling my family members. A lot of the times, actually, Ro and I talked about this, about chasing the sale, right? So a lot of times I used to not want to bring up my business or what I did on the side, just because I didn't want everybody to think that I always wanted to sell, right? I'm only here for, to sell. I'm not here to be your friend or to be your sister or whatnot. I'm here to sell. And that wasn't the case. So a lot of times I didn't bring it up. So yeah, identified bows didn't really go too well. I think there was too many, it was too saturated, right? So then I went to dresses because I saw, well, I don't just like making bows. And then by that time I had my little girl. So I was in love with, you know, endlessly buying dresses. So I said, why not buy 10 dresses and then I pay off my little girl's dress while I sell the rest. So it kind of just evolutionized from there. COVID 2020, my shop exploded. Everybody went online. Everybody was, you know, gung-ho for that small business owner. And I traveled to Mexico. You know, I ended up really getting down into my culture. What I sell the most is now my Mexican items. So I have graduation stoles that I embroider, as well as dresses from Mexico. So really hitting that niche, right, that you want. For me, my passion is my culture, my traveling, and I was able to encompass all that in one.
I like the fact that you said you would buy 10 dresses so that you can pay for the dress that you wanted. You know, if you listen to most investors, they will talk about, don't buy the big house right now, don't buy the big car, buy this stuff and allow the residual income to help you buy that new thing. And another thing you said that was very important, and I know I struggle with this, and like you said, when it comes to, you know, selling real estate, you don't want people to feel uncomfortable talking to you because you think, and I know, Trina, you had a business too, doing foreign exchange. Did you have that experience, like not wanting to feel like you can't even have a conversation with people, or people were uncomfortable talking to you because they felt like you were going to sell to them? Did you have an experience like that in your industry?
Definitely. I know it was trying to find that balance of, you know, you want to put the information out there, like Joe was saying, so people know what you have, but you also don't want them to feel like you're not approachable at the same time, because they will come back to you eventually, and that's what ended up happening a lot of the times. People like, yeah, I still have it, and I don't even do it anymore. People are like, are you still doing that? And I'm like, oh no, not really, but I am doing it.
You bring up a great point. Consistency, right? Just keep doing it. For a long time, people just know who to go to, and unfortunately, you're not doing it anymore. But people come to me all the time, still, you know, asking me, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that for you.
What does MLM stand for, Cassandra? She said you don't want to feel like an MLM
multi-level marketing is what that stands for. Yes. So where it's like one person and you build all the people underneath, and that's how you get your income. So a lot of the affiliate marketing businesses are structured that way, where you have to bring people in, and then that's how you get your residual income.
And that's the key to your business, instead of you being good at what you do. Yeah, the pyramid.
Something like that.
I understand that now.
It's a little different, but
in theory, like that's what we were brought up understanding, pyramid schemes and stuff like that. And so, like, when you can slice it up however, but that's
right. If you're educated around it, the biggest difference is in a pyramid scheme, only the person at the top is getting money. In multi-level marketing or affiliate marketing, the people or agents, that the representatives are also getting paid. It's just the way that the business is structured. The person at the top is getting paid a lot more, but you know, everybody's getting a little share. I was going to ask Joe a question about, like, what are some of the pitfalls or some of the things that you feel like, as far as with Etsy, since that's your main platform, like, what are some of the things that you saw early on, or things that caused you to pivot when you saw that, okay, I may not need to do this way, or I need to make sure I have this in order in order to be successful?
One of the biggest things that I found, you know, my trials was the time, right? So I do have a full-time job. And I still wanted, you know, and continue the side hustle. There was many times that I wanted to quit. I said, you know what? It's not even worth it. I'm at one point, well, actually for a few years, I was just cutting even, right? So the money that I would spend for material, and then I didn't even pay myself for my time, right? I was cutting even, and it wasn't really worth my time. It wasn't feeling like my hobby and a passion anymore. So I think time management was really my biggest opponent, honestly, because I had my children, I had my full-time job, and I felt like I was failing at all of them and not making it in anything. But I continued, I pushed through, you know, I would prioritize depending on what I wanted to do, right? If I wanted to feel like a better mom, I would give my kids more time and kind of put my side hustle to the side.
Yeah, work-life balance, that's tough. Like, even for me, not having kids, like me being the type of person that I am, and all three of us are women in business, so we all kind of operate the same way. But I know that there are times when I just put my head down, work, 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 and then I realize, like, oh, I haven't talked to my sisters in a week, or, you know, I need to make sure I take Nina out, but she gonna be fed up with me, you know. But just making sure that you find the time for work-life balance. I think that's the key to your success, because if the real relationships that you have are starting to break down and fall apart, you start to not really be happy in your day-to-day, and I think that that's going to affect you in growing your business. That's just my experience. I got a question for you, Joe. It's a lot of people on here that often ask the question, like, how do I identify what my passion is, or how I can make money?
I would honestly say, if you like find a passion, with that question. It doesn't always have to be selling something. It could be selling a service, or maybe you're good at editing videos. Maybe you're good at skip playing, right? Maybe you're good at posting videos or whatnot. There's people that pay for that. So going out there and really researching, just whatever you like to do, there's probably someone that will pay you to do it, or whatever you like to make. There's someone that might pay you, you know, to get out there and do that. So I would say follow your passion, because you don't want to do something that you don't like doing. Consistency, stay on it, even on, you know, in the times that maybe you're like, well, it's not working. You'll know if it's not going to work for you. If you're kind of having fun with it and it's just like maybe not making any money, stick with it, because it's going to come back. It's you're planting the seeds. It's going to come back to you.
Yeah. Lamar said, I lost it. Never become so busy making a living that you don't actually make a life. I thought that was pretty, yeah. We spend a lot of time, people spend a lot of time chasing money. And I always told my proteges, everybody that always, you know, come to me and ask me for advice. How can I promote? How can I be better? How can I do this? First thing first is identify what makes you happy. Don't take jobs, or don't do things just because it's going to be a check in the block, or you feel like it's going to give you the most notoriety. Figure out what makes you happy to do it. Because if you never get promoted, if you never make any money off of it, you still want to make, you know, get rich off of it. You still want to make money every day, right? So identifying what makes you happy, and make, like, for instance, Nina, she likes to organize stuff. Like, she loves
pay good money for that
stuff to get. I'm not an organized person at all. So exactly. So I'll be like, hey, can you organize my, like, if you look in our closet right now, all her clothes are hung up by sweaters, t-shirts, business, and color coded. My stuff is just hung up.
You're winning. You're winning already.
Into the closet.
It's gotta be in the closet. But, like, people pay a lot of money for small things. People think that it's not even a big deal. But if those things excite you, people will pay for it. Finding ways to put different colors. Like Joe said, putting pictures together. Even if you love cleaning. Like, some people get their therapy from just cleaning or folding clothes, or something that just seems so minute. Angel said, Nina, help. Something that just seems so minute. People pay good money for those services. So, you know, I say, don't discount or minimize your passions, because what you do very well, somebody is out there hating. Just gotta let people know that
nobody got a
love to do.
You looking like an Android camera right now. Okay, it's good. It's good.
Well, one thing I did want to add also is a highlight for my journey in being an entrepreneur is hiding under the umbrella of the 9-to-5, right? So I have my full-time job, and I was able to make mistakes and kind of learn from those, and kind of like poke at the bear, right? Poke to see where it works within like what I like to do, right? So I've made many failures, and I actually still, you know, you still save yourself, right? I've purchased things that don't sell in bulk, and then I just donate them. I keep that donation receipt, and then that's a tax write-off, right? So it's you never lose. Another big thing of my highlight that I like to back up my small shop with is being ethical, right? So I don't like to go to Mexico and buy things super cheap and then sell them for 300 to 400% more, right? So during COVID, everybody was struggling. I went out, these things were selling, so I made sure to go to the actual maker of the items that I was buying and saying, hey, you know, I'm going to pay you a good price because I'm making decent money off of you. And it came back to actually them sending me a handwritten letter telling me that during COVID, I held up their business, right? Because I ordered so many things. In Mexico, of course, the money translates a lot more. And I was able to hold up their business while I was, expanding mine.
I think a lot of people's fear when it comes to starting new business or taking that leap, like you said, it being fear, but I also think people feel like they don't have the money or the time to even start something else on the side. How can you help people balance like finding
I would
that
say
time to
planning,
make it happen?
Right?
What
so
advice
we
would you have
all
in that
plan,
situation?
our meal times and things like that. Just saying, hey, I'm going to dedicate 20 minutes a day to doing this because I really want to do it, right? I really want to sell stickers, for instance. It would take you maybe a startup of $100, if that. Make a cute logo. Most everything sells online, and you start your little sticker business, right? And just dedicating a little bit of time and just punching through, just one foot in front of the other. And if you enjoy to do it, it's not going to feel like work. It's going to feel like, your passion, like something fun. And then when you start getting, the fruits of your labor, that's when you're really going to see, the work that you've done up front.
Yeah. You also said a lot about being consistent to the project, right? If you see that as a passion for you and something that you're interested in doing, I would say there are going to be a lot of days where it feels like you don't see when the money is coming in, when it just seems like you just putting information out in the atmosphere and nothing is coming back. But when that thing come back, it's going to come back. The effort that you put in is what's going to be what comes back out. So I would say keep that in mind as well. Like, you got to be consistent. You got to just continue to work even when you don't see that check coming in.
Also, you want to have your goal, right? So you have your goal,
and
then you set yourself maybe for small goals and then a big goal, because you want to have a vision, right? You want to have your vision, where you want it to be, and then just fill in the gaps as you go.
And one good thing about the time management too, there's two things that I did one time, and it really did help, because I know, like you said before, we're juggling many hats, right? Take and document what you do for 24 hours. I was doing this and this from this time block, blah, 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 blah. And then like go back and look at it the next day, and you will be surprised of how much time you really actually still do have. That, and then also most of us have iPhones, right? And you can go and see what your activity is. I used to challenge myself to cut my activity down by an hour each day. So I'm like, okay, I guess I was scrolling on IG for about an hour total, in one day. Let me just not go on IG for the day. I mean, I cut social media out for like 2 years, actually. I just put my head down and was doing what I got to do. So, I mean, if you really want to do something, you will find the time somewhere. We all have the same 24 hours.
And it's also okay to take.
So just be like,
it's also okay to take a day off, right? Take a few days off. You don't have to do it. Consistency doesn't mean that you have to do it every day. Consistency means that you just keep on it. Whether it's you don't do it for a month, maybe because you've had troubles or whatnot, and then you come back. You come back to it.
Just don't stop. That's it.
Joe, have you had any
No,
it's all
self-funded. I don't have a big pot,
support?
but I could say that I lived in San Jose, which many of my family members still live out there, and it was a single mom with 3 kids, and I had my own place, which doesn't sound like much anywhere else, but in San Jose it is a lot. And that was a proven fact of my the income that was coming in. But no outside help. I've self-made. And I hope that one day I can just sit back and see, what I've accomplished. Hopefully my kid takes over the business, and then I'm that person at the top, right, Trina? Just taking in the commissions.
Yes. Right, exactly. For me, I did take advantage of the PPP loan when that was out. So that helps kind of get through some rough patches when the pandemic was going on. And I was able to leverage because my personal credit was kind of decent. I was able to start with like business credit cards for like to help with marketing and things of that nature. So if there are any business owners that need help with getting started with like funding and things of that nature, you can definitely hit me up. I'm working on some things right now. So yeah, it's definitely a way. But it's just a way you have to structure it and kind of move depending on the situation.
Not being afraid of failure, right? We all fail. We all get back up.
Yeah. I can't remember who said it. But failure is inevitable. Don't be afraid to fail, but just fail fast. Like you said before. When you get out there and you're able to just, okay, let me do this. Okay, but you're documenting. Okay, I tried this didn't work. Let me try it one more time to make sure that wasn't just a fluke. Or let me pull back and try this other product or whatever. Just pay attention to your market and know what your audience is looking for. Do your research. That's a big thing because a lot of people just want to get out there and start making money because that is the ultimate goal. But you have to really see, is there a need for what you're trying to put out there, whether it's a product or a service, and be able to target the right audience the right way. And then just kind of go from there. Get a mentor in that field, that, has experience in that so they can help cut that learning curve down a little bit. So there's a lot of things that you can really do to help position yourself, but don't be afraid to fail because, you're going to hit some road bumps. This ain't for the weak, I would say.
And Gaskins, that GQ style bartender, I met him. We was in air traffic control school together and we were stationed together also. I got a question for you. If you could just put in the comments, did you start your bartending business, which by the way, like his bartending business is lit in South Carolina. When I tell you,
you a little close to Georgia,
out at his event. Yeah. Yes, he show out. But Gaskins, I'm not sure if he's still on, but he just posted. Did you start your business as a side hustle or did you just decide to just jump out? And if you have any advice for people that may be reading, what advice would you give to somebody who's trying to start a business? In the meantime, I'll read a couple of comments. Charity said, it's kind of hard to put time on a passion that isn't giving any income yet, and you got piles of bills to pay. I understand that, Charity. Like when I first started, in real estate, trying to get licensed, I was like very, very, I still had a lot of years left in the Navy. Like I've been doing this for a while and I had about 9 years left. So, and I wasn't making any money. I didn't even know people who was interested in buying houses. I had barely bought my first house. But the reason why I had to go back to why I was doing what I was doing. And again, it comes down to your big why. Why are you doing what you're doing? And I'm sorry, I can't talk. I got these things in my mouth. But anyway, if what you're trying to do, your big why isn't strong enough, you will quit. My passion and the reason why I kept going not knowing is because when I first bought my house, and I'm going to tell you guys this, I'll do a training, but I bought my house. I literally lived across the street from a new construction. I was in an apartment, and I just walked across the street and started asking questions. I had so much fear of real estate ownership, buying and things. I didn't understand. I didn't know any of it. Fast forward, walked across the street, bought my house, made about $80K in 2 years on this house. And all I did was pay literally the same amount of money for my mortgage as I would have been paying for rent. That's how much I was paying, and I was able to make that amount of money in 2 years. And I decided in that moment that we needed to share this knowledge because real estate and ownership, that's the way to wealth. Like you're gonna pay it anyway.
You good?
So did I freeze? Oh, okay. And so my passion as to why I felt like this was important for me to do propelled even when I wasn't making money. Paying social. I ain't made selling no houses, but still paying my fees for my association still because my passion was bigger than and my purpose was bigger than anything else. So identifying what you like, and then identifying the purpose behind it. Why do I sacrifice 2 hours out of my day to build bows when nobody's paying me for it? Why am I sacrificing 2 hours of my day? Because my purpose is me being able to leave a business to my kids. My purpose is to be able to say, hey, I cannot work anymore, and the residuals are going to continue to come to me, and my kids will always be good because I made these sacrifices when nobody was paying me any money. So that's what you have to identify. And then I seen a comment from Kiana. So funny. This girl is an MBA graduate. She said, I would like to earn extra money, but between working, blah, blah, I'm sorry, not blah, blah, following kids around in sports, studying for certs, I don't feel like I have the time. Plus, I don't feel like I have a hobby. Maybe you don't, but you definitely have a lot of skills. You have 3 kids that are, you know, stellar students and playing sports, an MBA graduate, and you do, you work in the medical field. You know, I have somebody, well, we have somebody that started a medical billing while she was working for medical billing, started her own medical billing company and started making 6-figure residuals. So don't negate the things that you're talented in. There is money to be made there. Like, you're making money for somebody else by doing what you're doing. Figure out a way to make that work for yourself. Like, you are extremely smart and capable. And so I'll just say that to you.
And never stop educating yourself as well. You know, I'm always trying to get on, you know, business calls. I'm looking at different business research, you know, different things like that. A lot of times we put a cap on ourselves because we're not open to expanding our knowledge in that market, or just seeing what's the new wave of that market right now, because it may be that people have, you know, shifted to something else and we still stuck on trying to do it how it was doing in 2010. That ain't gonna work. We need you to go ahead and stay current and stay relevant in your field, stay knowledgeable about what's going on and new things that are rolling out, and just, you know, just stay on top of your game.
Yeah, never stop learning.
Comes to education.
That's a big thing. Yeah,
learning business and learning about your craft, and that's 2 separate things that you got to pay attention to. If you're trying to work a business and start a business, you got to learn the business. Like Joe threw out a nugget for y'all. I don't know if y'all caught that when she said that when she wasn't selling bows, she donated those bows, saved her receipt so that she could ultimately get the write off to pay for the bows that she paid for. Some of y'all didn't catch that, but but that was a major nugget. Gaston says that he's trying to convert full. So let me tell you something. I thought Gaston was full time because he go hard at promoting himself, and he's a bartender. And you know, who think like I'm about to go and be able to sustain my lifestyle by being a bartender? Who think I'm about to go and sustain my lifestyle by being a party planner? Who think I'm about to go and sustain my lifestyle by selling dresses on Etsy? Like, it's so many things that you can do. But we minimize it, and we minimize our skills and our talents. It's so crazy because I think the last couple of weeks we had, like, you know, scholars, you know, graduates, college degrees saying that they weren't capable of doing certain things. You know what I mean? But it's so easy for us to just not identify or overlook those things that some people consider small, but some people that create
imposter syndrome is huge, right? So I still feel every day. Sometimes,
and you're capable of,
you know, when I have an amazing month, like my best month was, you know, 6K. I brought in 6K. I was like, I go back sometimes and I look at that month and I say, you know, that wasn't me, but it was me, right? I did do it. And a lot of times I'm in places like when I'm teaching, when I do my classes for a professor, I'm like, I'm a professor, really? Like we put ourselves there, right? We always say like, this can't be true, but you know, we work for it and we're there and we should go for it. And even if you don't have business that you've started or anything like that, you have the skills, you have the knowledge, just like Ro was saying, and you can do it. You can do it. You have no days off, he said.
It's funny because I think about Trina, right? I talk about Trina a lot. She don't know this. But Trina is like, that's my best friend, elementary school, right? It's funny. I have a lot of great people in my life, because Joe was too. And I just got to say this. Joe was my officiant for my wedding. She married me. So we have a always have a very special relationship and beyond that. But anyway, Trina, you look at Trina be goofy. I'm going to go out dancing, karaoke, jokes all day long. a whole fool, right? But one of the smartest people that I've ever met. Like, I remember when she got her first B in anatomy in high school, and that was like a big deal.
I'm still devastated by that. I mean, if I could go.
Exactly. And it's and people don't even realize, like, you can be, you know, all of those things. You know what I mean? Like, imposter syndrome is real. You can be goofy, you can have fun, you can make jokes, but you can still get out there and hustle. You can be a multimillionaire if you want to. Like, it also, you know, you determine your outcome. You know, your attitude determines your altitude. Your attitude determines your aptitude. Yeah. Like, it's all in what you
baby
believe
steps. We can all do
capable of doing. And I believe that strongly. Yep. I'm sorry, Joe. What any other, like, what other recommendations would you have for people? Like, we keep saying educate yourself and find, where would people find
honestly I would say
information on how to educate themselves in certain business fields?
The videos, right? YouTube, Google. I mean, you have to know how to filter out the BS, but it's there. Anything, you can literally type in anything online these days, and the information is there. And if you maybe don't rely on those sources, there's always classes, little symposiums. Go to a certified, you know, class of some sort. I know I need to take accounting, right? Because now my business is becoming to where, and my kids are coming into the room now. It's becoming to where it needs, I need a professional accountant. Say hi. Hi. And I need a you know, someone to do my taxes. And of course the hustler in me is like, I can learn that, and I can I can not have to pay for someone to do it for me, and we can go ahead and do it. Yeah, educate yourself. Google is my friend. YouTube videos, and then it kind of just breaks or it brings in furthermore of that passion.
And don't be afraid to invest in yourself too. Like, we'll go out, we'll buy shoes, clothes. Sometimes, like, maybe I went for 2 years, literally 2 years, and me and Nina moved into an RV. Went for 2 years. I didn't buy any clothes, no jackets, no shoes, no purses. I would buy gifts every now and then, but I stopped spending money because I needed to meet my goals, and in that became sacrificing that stuff so that I can invest in my marketing, I can invest in my business, because I knew that there was a future for me in that. I believe that. Any last remarks from you, Trina?
This has been so awesome. I would just add to what Joe was saying as far as education. You can always also find different networks. Facebook is one of the biggest ones. Like, whatever you're interested in, there's so many groups out there. Just to find other people that are either doing what you're wanting to do, or that are, you know, or if you're already doing it, that are already successful, that you can kind of network with. You know, and like I said, cut that learning curve down and see what's new and what's trending. So don't be afraid to join groups, even if you have to pay to go to a networking event. Go to Eventbrite and see, you know, they have networking events all the time, and see if they have something in your field, just to kind of stay in the know, get to know people, brush elbows with the right people, because a lot of times exposure is better than knowledge. Sometimes it's about who you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Joe,
one thing that stuck out to me was that someone said that they don't have a hobby, or maybe they don't have time. It doesn't mean that you have to do it now, right? Like I said, have a goal. Maybe you can start educating yourself now. You don't have to execute you know, if you're going to sell something or whatnot. Yeah, play the long game, right? If your goal, my goal is to be independent one day, right? Not have to go into work and kind of just do my own thing. Yeah, play the long game. Set yourself up for the future.
Joe, I didn't even ask you this, but I should have. I'm sorry. You have 3 major jobs that's all, you know, making, you know, money, but you also have 3 kids as well that are active doing gymnastics and soccer and all kinds of stuff. How do you find the time to do, you know, airspace officer for the freaking Air Force, be an instructor, handle your business? How
my day to day, I think my Sundays, I call them setting up for the week. Right? So I set up my menu, I do my grocery shopping, make sure I actually, and I bring my children in, right? They're part of the household, so they're working members, right? So, you know, I have a 15-year-old, I say twice a week, you're making dinner. I set him up for success. I make sure that on my planner, I put everything, you know, and ask for help is a big thing, right? For a long time, I was an advocate of, I'm going to do it myself. And I don't need anyone, right? I've never had help. I don't need help. No, it's not the way to go. You need to bring in your village, right? Your village is helping you raise kids. So I have, you know, family members that take, you know, maybe my daughter to gymnastics or whatnot. But just planning, and taking a mental day. Really, there's days that you feel like you're going to fail. I saw this meme or this video one day that said, you know, sometimes you can't make a bad day good. You just quit and it's okay, right? So I think that's the biggest thing. People have fear of failure, and maybe sometimes it's okay to fail. So yeah, I set up my day. I make sure I do everything ahead of time. And also I start checking things off of my lists that don't need to be done, right? I'm a big advocate of writing 1,000 lists and I have to get everything done. But then I sit there and I say, why? Why do I have to bathe the dog today or whatever, right? You don't have to do it. So crossing things off that aren't unnecessary and just really kind of focusing on the main goal is the way I live by. Work. What's my motto? I always tell my kids, work hard, but play harder.
Awesome. Friend, I know you've been really, really big on mental health and finding that energy and that space. Make sure you're, you know, you stay balanced. You've been teaching a lot about that. What would you say tonight about finding that balance when we're trying to figure out time to do other stuff?
Be like Nike and just do it. Like, seriously, even if it's 30 minutes and you decide to just go for a walk, like those little bitty things, it doesn't have to be money related. I know a lot of people can go get massages and go get a pedicure. I can't do that. Okay. I'm on a straight budget. So most of my mental health things are just, you know, stuff that I might just go do karaoke. And just, you know, you have to just make time to unwind and just figure out when that's going to be, whether it's once a week, once a month, just whatever works for your schedule. But you deserve to unplug. And that's one thing I appreciate about the position I do work for, my 9 to 5. They give us one day a month where we ain't got to come. They don't care. You ain't got to let them know ahead of time. They give you 8 hours a day. You know, I be breaking that thing up. I don't even use it all at once. I be like, okay, I'm going to leave 2 hours early on this day. And you might not see me for a little bit on that day. But, you know, just definitely just in that schedule when you're planning, like Joe said, just go ahead and plan you some time for you.
Brittany said, I'll end up shutting down when I have a million tasks. Yeah, when you over prioritize, sometimes you just get so overwhelmed. You like,
right.
bump it, you know, or everything in the air and nothing gets accomplished. Thank you, ladies, for sharing your experiences today. And also not just about making it about money, but also making it about heart and passion and really giving people good tools to be successful. If you have any questions about starting a side hustle, any business questions, things that you are insecure about, feel free to hit either one of us up. Joe, can you tell everybody how they can get in contact with you if they have questions for you?
Gorgeous and Green Bows, and you can find me. I'll probably have Ro link me in her page so that you can have access to me. Or just hit up Ro, and then you guys can come check out my Etsy store.
Yeah.
If you have a little girl, if you have a little niece, if you have a little granddaughter, I have all girls things. At the store.
Trina, how can people contact you and get information
would be on probably on IG. So I'm sexy, the letter N, about business with a Z. You can just hit me up if you need any information about just how to get started with a business, personal credit restoration, building business credit, any of those things. Hit me up. Building and growing your social media.
Oh, you and me are gonna talk.
I got you. Yes, girl. Yes. I got to get back on it. But I was like really killing it on TikTok. I'm like, I just kind of fell from TikTok for a little bit. Boy, yeah. That's one. If you're a business owner and you're not on TikTok, you are shorting yourself. I am telling you, you are shorting yourself.
Yeah. Thank y'all. Thank you guys so much for today. Anybody looking, make sure you're following all of us on social media. Because I know like everybody got different friends that logged on today. But if you know anybody looking to buy or sell real estate in California or beyond trying to buy or sell, if you're interested in getting involved in this industry, that's why I joined. Please, please, please get in contact with me because I want to share that with you. And I want to break the barriers so that we can have more people in the industry and taking our knowledge back to those low income communities so that we can stop paying somebody else's money. Amen. All right. Yeah.
It was nice meeting you.
I will see you guys next week. Next week we have Melanie coming on. She's gonna talk about her truck driving businesses, how she became an owner of 5. She owns 5 trucks, and this is Melanie who said that she was homeless when she was 9. She got kicked out of school. She got kicked out of the house. She was homeless, and now she's a business owner. She has 5 trucks that she was able to figure out how to pay for on her own, and she's here. She's gonna be here next week to talk to you guys about that and share her story with you and help you if you're interested in that industry. So please pass the word.